guys, we are done joining all the concepts. The next thing is you want to cut all your threads. Okay, cut all your threads. It took me at about 40 minutes to join all of this because I use an industrial machine, and the top, when you're sewing on an industrial machine, the top tends to overstretch than the bottom fabric. So when you take your time, everything will fall in place. Okay, I didn't take my time on this one, so you can see. Okay, but it doesn't hurt, you just trim it out and it's okay. Okay, so when you take your time, all your edges matches correctly. So this is the corset. All right. Okay, so now the next thing is to cut all your threads. This is the lining for the front. Okay, just cut all your threads. This is also the lining for the front piece, as you can see. Guys, I need to finish this by tomorrow, but you see how I'm taking my time? That is how you should also take your time when you're drafting a concept. So the next thing is just iron out all your seams. Okay, you iron it on both the front and the back. Okay, so after ironing it in the back, you flip it over, and then you iron it from the front as well. Do to all of these, and then when you get to the front, okay, because of the curved area, just notch. All right, notch very, very well. That indicates your bust point. It's very necessary. So when you're about to attach the black cap, you need that. Okay, so your bust point, your under bust, it's necessary. When you're about to attach your black cap, you need that. Okay, so just notch this as close to your seams as possible. All right, and the rest, just open it and iron it out. If you want to notch, you can feel free and notch. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing to my main corset fabric. So notch the bust point as well, because this is really necessary. Okay. Okay, so after notching, just notch as close as possible to the seam, line like that, and then you're good to go. Okay, do the same thing to this side. So guys, I use a medium stay safe. You can use fusible woven fabric. Okay, you can use the soft one. They're all allowed. Okay, you can use any one you want. Okay, the hard one you can use that, but except on soft fabric. So let's go ahead and iron out everything. Then I'll show you the next step to take. So before we go, I'm also going to be needing my bias. I'm going to open this and iron it on my ironing board. Okay, so I'll come back and show you the next step. Guys, one last thing before I go. You see this is what I'm going to use to iron all my curved points, okay, to come out really nice and flat. Okay, so iron this really well in and then out. So once you're done with the inside, flip it over out, you iron it as flat as you can. Okay, okay, so guys, I'm done with ironing everything out. Okay, this everything has been ironed really well. Okay, so now the next step that you want to take is you want to take to your machine and then stitch close, okay, to the seam line, top stitch on these parts, and then do the same on the other side. Do the same for each and every seam line that you've created. Okay, for the back as well, top stitch very close to the seam line. Okay, do the same very close to the seam line, top stitch, right? And for the lining, we are not going to do any top stitch on this. I want to show you what I'll be using this for. Okay, this is a very strong fabric, okay, but also very light. Okay, so normally I use this for my boning channels. Okay, so I'm going to be creating channels with this boning after I top stitch. Okay, so another way you can create a boning channel, okay, is if you have if you have enough seam allowance, like let's say instead of half an inch you have 1 inch, then you can use the inner one. So this is the inner one, this is our center back. Okay, no, so this is our center back. You can use the inner one. All right, the inner one, please, the inner one. You can stitch on one side, okay, and then trim this as close as possible away. Okay, that is one way you can create your boning channels. So just go ahead and then know the size of your boning, okay, so that if you stitch and you push it through, it wouldn't be too tight and it wouldn't be too flowy. Okay, let it just penetrate as smooth as it can. Okay, so if you have 1 inch, like I have, if I have 1 inch, I'll just top stitch on the inner ones like that. Okay, I'll just top stitch on the inner ones and then that will be all. And I'll also do the same. So these are the inner ones. If I have 1 inch, I'll just top stitch the size of the boning. This is less than just half an inch boning, or yeah, a little bit less than half an inch. So if you have that, you can just have 1 inch, just top stitch on the inner ones like so. So I'm going to, after that, I'm going to join the sides together. So this is the side for the front, and then here too I'm going to create another boning channel for the side panels. Okay, just like that. And I'll do the same thing for the lining piece as well. Line. Okay, we are done with attaching our tool. No, our tool will be after, later. So I'm just going to join this as well. Okay, join this, match it up, join, and then join this to this side as well. Okay, so I'll join everything like this. Sorry, I'll join it like so. Okay, so you can see the curve. Oh my goodness, that curve, I love it. I love that curve. Okay, so join it and create another boning channels, and then use this bias to create your boning channels onto it. So you just place it like this. Okay, you just place it like this, like so, and then you measure the bone, and then you sew it so that this can go in without any problem. Okay, so you do all for all of the channels. All right, so let me just go and do that. Let me join my back to my front, and then all the lining as well, and then start with our boning channels. So both the front and the back panels have been joined together. Okay, so now we are going to be counting our boning channels. Okay, right here, back here, there's going to be one boning channel here. Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's going to be a boning channel, so 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then this part 13. So 13 boning channels. Okay, so just top stitch all like I said, top stitch close to the seam lines, top stitch all of it all the way through. Okay, then once you are done, the lining is also joined, and we are not going to be top stitching on the lining. I'm going to use this to create the channels, but I doubt my the rest of this I have will be okay. If not, I'll use a different color. It doesn't matter, it's not going to show out, so it's okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the channels together.
Do you love me, Matthew?
I do.
Honestly?
Yes. Secretly, but honestly.
No more secrets.
Alright, so guys, top stitch is done. Let me bring it closer to the camera so you see. I did a top stitch all the way down, all the way through the corset. And now the next thing is to create our boning channels. Okay, okay, so now guys, now that you have your first channel, okay, you want to measure. Okay, so my boning is almost half an inch. So now just pick your bone and measure. Okay, my bone is almost half an inch. That means this is okay, this is good to go. try a bone and see. Let's try a bone and see. Okay. So this is just a normal bone that we are trying. You see that? It's supposed to go in smoothly like so. So guys, this is okay. This is perfect. So just continue with all of this using the same process. Okay. Okay guys, so this was a lot of work, but finally I'm done creating my boning there, but we are done. So the next thing is grab maybe a pen or paper or something you can write, where you can write and then remember. Okay, they're going to be measuring the amount of boning or the inches of boning we will need for each bone casing. So I'm going to leave half an inch at the top and also 0.75 inch at the bottom. So this gives me 11.25. So write it down somewhere, and I'm cutting two of this, one for this and one for this side as well. So two, and then for this one I'm leaving half an inch at the top and 0.75 at the bottom. Okay, this gives me 11.75. Okay, so I'm cutting times two of this as well. I'm leaving half an inch at the top and also 0.75 at the bottom. So this gives me 12.25. I'm also cutting two of this for this side and for the third bone channel. So this gives me 12 inches or 12.1 inches. So I'm going to cut two, that's for this and for this. Okay, so leaving some few inches, that is half an inch up. I'm going to cut 14.25 for this. Okay, two with this, one for this. Okay, now the main cup area. So I'm leaving half an inch at the top, and I'm going to measure this out like I'm doing. I'm going to mark 15 inches. Okay, so times 2, 15 for this one and for this one. Now for the center one, I'm going to cut 13.25. Now I'm only cutting one for this because it's only the center. Okay, so guys, that is it. So we are going to set this aside and then cut our bone and prepare